Hey guys, Marcus Melnick here with Firearm Mentor. Hope you're enjoying my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. These little things are free to you and really help the channel. I appreciate your support. Enjoy. Thank you.
The views expressed are not those of local community broadcasting, WYML LP, or its management, volunteers, or underwriters. Greetings and welcome to the Personal Safety Show. This is Marcus Melnick from Firearm Mentor and Stress 2 Logic, your host. And we talk about all things safety on the show. Sometimes it's not necessarily physical safety, but I want to address some fraud and cybersecurity safety and that type of thing. Because fraud exists, and we want to keep our information safe from fraudsters. Banks typically do not contact you to ask you for your personal information. And if someone is posing as a bank or another service provider asks you for things like your social security number, account details, username, password, security passwords, or answers to security questions, never respond. Hang up and call your local branch or your credit card or whomever is trying to get you, call them. How can you prevent fraud? Well, if someone calls you, you got to consider it fraud. Hang up, call the number on the back of your card or statement. Same thing with a text. If you receive a text or email asking for account information, we ignore the message, put it in spam. And if you receive a phone call asking for personal information like your social security number or all the things that I mentioned, hang up. You are under no obligation to be nice. With that said, stand by. The first week of February was Identity Theft Awareness Week. And there are steps that you can take to help you protect your identity. Identity theft is a serious issue that continues to grow, with over 1 million reports of identity theft and 349 million people who were victims of data breaches in 2023. The FTC, or Federal Trade Commission, dedicates 1 week annually to educating and creating awareness to help consumers understand how to avoid and recover from identity theft with several of your credit card products, and they have great reputations. And there are services to not only protect your card, but also your personal information, such as a lot of card companies will give you social security number alerts, as well as identity theft protection. Proactivity is the key when it comes to identity theft. Taking steps to protect yourself ahead of time will save you time and money in the future. Credit card holders have many ways to stay protected, and taking advantages of some of these resources is a smart way to keep your personal information safe. For example, credit card alerts. These are customizable, and they can include alerts such as payment reminders, statement notifications, general alerts, and can also help you spot identity theft. I get a text every time one of my credit cards is used. Another one, I have it set at a specific threshold, so if it's more than, I don't remember what the threshold is, but you can do that. You can also freeze your credit card. Many credit card companies allow you to freeze it. So you're going out of the country or going out of town, you're leaving your credit card back home, you can freeze it, so if somebody snags it, or if you leave it at a restaurant, you can go on your app, you can freeze it until you get it back. It stops any new transactions from processing on your card, and you can do what I do. You can consider freezing your credit. I do it on Credit Karma, that's CREDITKARMA.com. That is a free online service. Now, they do have paid services, and you can also go into TransUnion, Equifax, and you can freeze your credit then. Now, I did run into a problem with this. So if you're going to go buy a car or need a new credit card, you have to unfreeze your credit report, or they cannot run your credit. So it's a great security measure, and new creditors can't access your report, and it helps protect you from being hit with fraud. Freezing your card and freezing your credit does require you to unfreeze for usage in the future. And you can unfreeze it for a specified amount of time. So let's just say you're going to be going car shopping over the weekend. First of all, we don't want to let all the dealerships run our credit each time, but if they do in a certain amount of time, it is considered one credit run on your credit report. Another way to stay ahead is credit monitoring. There's free Social Security number, new account, new inquiry alerts, and it'll notify you if your Social Security number is found on thousands of dark websites. And it'll also help recognize fraud through new account and new inquiry alerts. Learn more about how to activate this free benefit. And credit bureaus also have free credit monitoring that alerts you if fraud is suspected. Be mindful of how much information you put out there. And I've said this for people that go on vacation and post photos from the vacation. Look, I'm not home. Let's go burglarize my house. Same thing with credit, with electronics. Protect your identity by being aware of when you are using sensitive information, such as your Social Security number, your address, your birthday, and if something seems fishy, take an extra step of precaution to validate that whomever is asking for your personal data actually needs it. There is free online privacy protection that can also help remove personal data from select people's search sites. If you have a question on that, you can always send me a message via my electronic business card, which is www.marcusmelnick, that's MarcusMelnick.com. You can also invest some money through credit monitoring and alerting. There is identity theft protection for $1 a month, maybe $15 a month, and you receive comprehensive servicing, including the 3 bureau credit alerts, Social Security number, identity alerts, bank account alerts, and more. If identity theft strikes you, you have up to $1 million identity theft protection or insurance for covered losses to help put the pieces back together. Now, if you're a victim of fraud and you use your credit card, they absorb the fraud. Not so much with every debit card, not so much with Zelle. There's been people that have gotten messed up with that. But knowing the signs of identity theft and the steps you can take to protect yourself from it, you have a greater peace of mind knowing that your personal information is protected from fraudsters. There is also, if you wanted to Google, the FTC's Identity Theft Awareness Week page for more resources. You can certainly do that. The FTC does not want anyone to get messed up.
I want my listeners to know that this is my dream, teaching people about safety. If it weren't for you, if it weren't for my listeners, I couldn't live my dream. So on behalf of my family and myself, I want to thank each and every one of you for allowing me to live my dream. And I also want to continue to live my dream, and I'm excited to continue to spread the word of safety. Recently, I began a new service as a conference keynote speaker. So if anyone would like for me to speak at future events, or if anyone knows of an introduction or would like to discuss how we can work with one another, I'd love to do just that. The keynote speaking website is www.stress2logic.com. That is STRESS2logic.com. If you're aware of any conference speaking engagements where you'd like to have me speak, I'd love an introduction. You can always share my electronic business card, which is Marcus Melnick, MarcusMelnick.com. Now, back to the show.
And if you go to that website, there are webinars that you can actually listen to. For example, every day there was a new webinar. One of them is the FTC and Better Business Bureau for Marketplace Trust. Talk about how scammers target military consumers, how to protect your personal and financial information and military benefits. Another one has the FTC and the US VA celebrating Identity Theft Awareness Week and Data Privacy Week in a kind of a fireside chat to help veterans and avoid scams. There's another one where the FTC and Korean Community Service Center of Greater Washington discuss how to avoid and understand identity theft. There's one where the FTC and Social Security Administration discuss understanding and avoiding identity theft. Another one is also about the Social Security Administration. There's a Facebook Live, or there was a Facebook Live one, I think you can still get it, to learn about recognizing the signs of identity theft and protect yourself and know what to do if it happens. Now, I speak 3 languages. I speak English, sarcasm or / Chicago, and I also know a little bit of American Sign Language. But if you are a foreign language learner, or your tongue is foreign language, the FTC now has information in multiple languages on this type of thing. You should probably spread the word to everyone. And there's some easy tricks that can help you protect your accounts. Many of us worry about protecting our online accounts like email, banking, shopping, social media. The accounts typically rely on passwords for security. Changing old, reused, or weak passwords is an easy way to better protect these valuable accounts. And a lot of phones now have a password app in them where you can save your passwords. So if you have a password that's kind of nonsensical, meaning *A, exclamation point, 2, 4, pound sign, or something that really doesn't make sense in a language, you can do that. February 1st was National Change Your Password Day. It is a good time to review and replace your passwords with secure ones. It's recommended to choose long passwords, at least 15-character passphrases that you can remember but nobody else can guess. Now, I always recommend, why don't you say something in a foreign language and transliterate it into English? For example, if part of your password is going to be Deadwood, that doesn't work. If part of your password is going to be a foreign language like give me a kiss, which in Polish is daj mi buzię, you can say your password can be DAIMEBUJE, or however you want to spell it. And if you misspell it, it's even better because it's even more difficult to guess. Those are typically not guessed. So when should you change your password? Well, after a data breach. If you think your password has been stolen or exposed, change it immediately. If you use that password in multiple places, change it everywhere, and be sure to use different passwords. After a malware infection, some malware, such as computer viruses, can steal passwords. Change potentially impacted passwords using a device you know is malware-free. If you get hooked by a phishing lure, social engineers are masters at tricking people into giving up their passwords. There's no shame in this, but immediately take action to change your passwords you disclosed. And when your passwords are reused, when you use the same password for multiple accounts, you risk losing all of those accounts if that unique password is compromised. You should have different passwords for each account. Experts advise changing your password periodically, kind of every 6 to 12 months, and stronger passwords do require less frequent changes, but they still benefit from periodic updates to protect against undetected breaches. Password managers make that easy. So let's talk about some offers that you get online that are fraudulent. And last Monday, I got an email that said, first, if you act fast, you can download the nation's best concealed carry certification available today. It's important that you download it ASAP as anti-gun groups are trying to get rid of it. Fortunately, because you can still download a certification for America's top CCW gun certification from this website, and you don't have to leave your house to do so. Downloading this certification online ensures that you encounter zero government red tape and no exposing your private info to the feds, 0 lines, classroom times, or books to read, 0 gun range time. You don't even need to fire a gun to get this certification. It's as simple as visiting the site and answering a few simple questions. Plus, you can complete this entire certification process online. Download it directly to your phone or computer in as little as 30 minutes. You don't even need to own a gun to get this certificate. That's why it's been named America's #1 concealed carry certificate. 31 states have agreed to accept this certificate so far. It's simply the closest and easiest path to a semi-nationally recognized certificate that's available right now. This certification permit isn't just a basic concealed carry certification permit either. It's one of a kind and available to you no matter what state you reside in. But there's one thing you need to know. Since it's so easy to get this certificate, pro-gun control lawmakers are aggressively searching for ways to ban access to it. As such, you'll need to download your online certificate today, especially since tomorrow this fast-track site could be shut down for good. If you ever thought about getting a concealed carry certificate, here's your chance to carry legally. If you think you know some gun basics, click here and download the certification today. And this is from Las Vegas, Business in Las Vegas. Now, look, guys, I'm a concealed carry instructor in Illinois, and I will tell you, in Illinois, you must complete a 16-hour in-person class. There's no such thing as an Illinois certificate online. That Illinois certificate gives you the ability to carry a firearm legally in just shy of 80% of the country. It is recognized, or there is constitutional carry in 39 states. Guys, this is a scam. I often get people contacting me, oh, should I do this? No, they're there to take your money. There are all sorts of apps out there that are scams. And I'll give you another one. And I've talked about this on a previous show. There is an app called Parrot AI. And Parrot AI, what it does is it allows you to select a celebrity, Drake, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, Barack Obama, Snoop Dogg, Kim Kardashian. There's a ton of them on there. And what it'll do is you can type in what you want them to say, and the app will make their mouth move in the same manner as if they are saying it. In their voice, they're going to say whatever you want them to say. So I signed up for it because I was doing a class on fraud prevention, much like this episode. And the only thing it allowed me to do was former President Joe Biden and current President Donald Trump. This was during the election. Everything else required a fee, which I gladly paid, and it didn't work. And I contacted them and I contested my credit card, but their policies, not on the App Store, but on their website, said they do not give out refunds. So it was $30. Guess what? I bit the bullet. I got scammed for $30. Now, there's other services out there, and I'm going to call one out. For small businesses, we typically use a CRM, that is customer relationship management software. And what it does is it automates all of our back office functions. You can send out messages, do social media marketing, you can do ad marketing. There, you have a list of all your clients. Some of them take payments for classes, and I use one. And I signed up for one called Odoo, O-D-O-O. They are a Belgium-based company. And this Belgium-based company really did not deliver on what they advertised. I signed up. I had someone walk me through, and the way that it was set up was if somebody spent $50 with me, they would get $70 off. So if someone wanted to, I don't know, buy a couple t-shirts and it was $50, I would owe them $20. I didn't go nuts, but I was pretty upset. I contacted them, they fixed it. Next purchase, the person got $70 off. At that point, I cut it. I was like, that's ridiculous. Also, they walked me through how to upload my client list. So I uploaded my client list, and a lot of people have Gmail or Yahoo addresses, and what it did was it changed the suffix. Instead of saying at gmail.com, it said at gmaillinnoisil.com. It changed every single one. I had thousands of data points that I had to go through, and I was like, this is crazy. Their solution was either I fix it myself or I pay them for additional support. I spent thousands on this. Ridiculous. And so what I ended up doing, and I'm going to explain the ways that you can actually have fraud investigated. Now, I'm in Illinois. This company, Odoo, has an office in New York and California, and they're in Belgium. So I sent them kind of a nastygram. The other thing that they did was they said, oh, you can split this up in 2 payments. Great. I agreed. I signed the contract. They billed me in 1 payment, deducted from my credit card. So that right there is a contract violation, which should have earned me a refund. So I signed up, I believe it was November 4th, and I had it for 2 months trying to work through, spent hours and hours and hours trying to make it work. I was really excited about it. They said they have an online marketplace. I can put products up. I spent thousands of dollars on t-shirts and cleaning brushes and other swag that I have to sell, and none of that worked. So on January 13th of this year, I sent them kind of a nasty message saying, look, I want a refund. It was a request. That one was a request, wasn't the nasty one. I'd like a refund. Your software does not work as advertised. Please provide a refund. And I'll ask. And the answer was, we don't give refunds. Too bad. So now I got nasty. I said, look, if you don't process a refund, and I will accept a reduced refund, because I did have the software for 2 months. I thought that was fair. I actually gave them more. They would have had more money than if they just did the actual 2 months. I made it an even number, so they actually made money on me, which is okay. They did put in some time. I said, look, if you don't do this, if you don't give me the refund, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to contest it on my credit card. I'm going to contact my attorney. I'm going to contact the Illinois Attorney General's Office Fraud Department, the California Attorney General, the New York Attorney General, the European Consumer Fraud Division, the FBI's Cybercrime Task Force, as well as I said I would talk about it on the radio, and I did. That company's ODOO. Do not use them. They are horrible. So why am I saying this? I sent them the nastygram. We'll refund your money. That was January 13th. I'm recording this on February 6th. About February 1st, I emailed them, and multiple times in between then and now saying I still don't have the refund, etc. Oh, well, I'll ask accounting. No response. Next follow-up, I'll ask accounting. No response. So I said, if I have an appointment on Wednesday, February 5th with the Illinois Attorney General's office, I'm going to start all of the things I said I was going to start. And I did. I contacted the Illinois Attorney General, and this is all online. I issued a complaint. Same thing with New York. Same thing with California. The one in Belgium, they don't take non-European customers, but they gave me a lead on a place that I can go to, so that was great customer service. I have not done that yet because I just got that email overnight. I will be doing that. I also went on to the FBI Cybercrime Task Force website. I did not complete the investigation form because I have some questions, but I'm going to do that. I'm talking about it on the radio show, and I also contested it on my credit card. I kept every single email, made them PDFs, so when someone says, what's the problem? I have a PDF of an email that says, we are going to refund your money. 3 weeks is plenty of time to issue a credit card refund. How do I know that? I happen to work in the banking industry full time, so I know how it works. Apparently, the company, again, not honoring their word, it's consistently dishonest. So if you have a small business, steer clear of that company. And I told them I was going to talk about it on the radio if I didn't get the refund, and I didn't. It's been a reasonable amount of time. After 3 weeks, they should have processed the refund. So, folks, there you have it. There's all sorts of fraud online. Here, I'll tell you about another fraud that I was involved in. Many years, it had to be close to 25 years ago. Our house had storm damage. It had hail damage on the siding and roof. We contracted with a company. I didn't do due diligence. I was very young. And what happened was they redid the roof. Cool. And then they were about to do the siding. So they hired a subcontractor, ripped off all the siding, and then never showed up to put new siding on. No materials were delivered, nothing. I contacted my contractor, no response, and I called the guy multiple times a day. I emailed him. I really reached out to him. But the reality is, that guy was a scam artist. I found out he had 15 prior arrests and 1 conviction for business fraud. Every time he got caught, he reincorporated under a new business name. I worked in law enforcement at the time, so I contacted the sheriff of the town. I did get a hold of his son, who said my dad was in the hospital. Okay, well, I don't believe it. I did call that hospital. He was a patient there for 2 days. This is going on for weeks, even months. And it was getting to be October, and I contacted the sheriff's office. I called in a favor. I had 2 of the biggest detectives you ever seen knock on his door and say, "You better take care of this guy." And what happened was, I also found the subcontractor. I invited him to my house, and I said, "Look, here's the deal. I paid him for half. The subcontractor was going to get a portion of the second half." And I said, "Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to have you do the work. I will pay you and not pay the contractor. And that way it'll be done." So that the subcontractor agreed. He was actually Mexican. And I said, "I just want to make sure if we get the police involved, you don't have any immigration issues." And they were all legal. It wasn't a big deal. But because he was taking care of me, I wanted to, not throw him under the bus. So they redid the siding. The subcontractor redid the siding. It was fantastic. And the last thing that they were supposed to do was paint our front door, which they didn't do. And I kept getting phone calls. "Well, you need to pay us the second half." "Hey, buddy, you need to finish the job." "Oh, but come on. When anyone says to me, "come on," I immediately shut them out. I'm like, "Dude, come on is not a way to convince me." So ultimately, the contractor's son showed up. He did a good job. He painted the front door, and then he's standing there with his hand out for the check. Meanwhile, I had contacted the subcontractor who was working around the corner, who shows up. They get in an argument, a heated argument about owing money, and this was planned. I step in and I say, "Well, hold on a second. How much do you owe the subcontractor?" And it was a portion of what I owed the contractor. I said, "I'll tell you what. I'll give the subcontractor what you owe him, make him whole, and I'll give you the rest." And there was really no way they could disagree with that. So they agreed with it, and I got my siding. Everything was done. But next time, I'm going to be checking the references of the contractors that I use. I would suggest that you do the same. Hope this was enlightening for you. Please stay tuned. We have more material for you after the break.
The views expressed are not those of local community broadcasting, WYML LP, or its management, volunteers, or underwriters.